What's up guys, it's Johnny Candido of Candido Training HQ. Now today we're going to talk about why does it seem that some people use terrible form still see some incredible gains. Now this is a deeper issue. What the problem is that it matters whether it's an isolation exercise or if it's a compound movement. First of all, I'd like to say that I always suggest using perfect form for beginners. But the thing is, for more advanced lifters, what you'll see is you can find what works for you for isolation movements. Now the reason of this is that in compound movements you need perfect form to incorporate all of the muscle groups. For example, if you only half squat, you're not hitting your hamstrings, glutes, basically your entire posterior chain is taken out of the movement. What people don't understand is that you can't shape a muscle. This means that once a muscle is stimulated, the entire muscle is then stimulated. So you can't work the peak of your bicep. Now you do have two bicep heads, which you can focus on either one. But most of the time, the movement will incorporate both of them and then they'll incorporate the entire bicep. So what this means is the range of motion in a bicep curl is less important. Now the drawbacks are that your time under tension will still be reduced doing cheat curls, and your likelihood of injury is slightly increased because you're using heavier weights. But the thing is, you still are working the muscles entirely. So it isn't the same thing as half squatting, and it can actually help you break through plateaus and build more muscle because now you're working the peak of the movement. Your peak force is your limiting factor rather than the bottom part of the movement, which is typically the weakest. So that's it guys. That's why you see some people in the gym who have what seems to be terrible form still build up huge arms. But typically what you'll see is those guys with the huge arms, their legs aren't exactly looking the same because they use that form then on the squats and they do just half squats and it doesn't quite translate. Now a common problem too is that a lot of times people will do terrible form on the heavy lifts and just focus on getting the most weight possible, and then they'll use strict form on the isolation movements to make up for that. But the problem is, as I said, that's really the opposite of what you would want to do. You want to use strict form on the heavy movements, and then if you are going to use what is perceived to be as improper form, then do that on the isolation movements. So that's it guys, I hope this information was helpful. Make sure to like the video as always to support the channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching guys. Peace. My three favorite exercises, and that's, as you see here, alternating dumbbell curls, the first one. There is such thing as a natural arch versus an artificial arch. Now the natural arch is what happens when you see me benching. See, the reason why my lower back is arched